All right, here we go. Scoop Nation, it's your boy TJ Downing back with more stories from the vault. You see they got me locked in here. We're going down, man. I'll tell you what, Buckeyes back in action. We were off last week. We got some Big Ten football action starting back up this Saturday, 12 o'clock. We're going to take on the Hawkeyes. So I'm bringing you stories from the vault like I always do every week. Here we go. Back in 2002, the Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes, we were both undefeated. We would go on to win the national championship over the Hurricanes in the Fiesta Bowl. We would share the Big Ten championship with the Hawkeyes, and they would go on, I believe, to face USC. They got pounded, I think, in the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl. Not good for them, but we wouldn't face each other, so we would share the league, and then all of a sudden you come back in 2004, and that would kind of set up a primetime matchup over the next couple years between Ohio State and Iowa. 04. We got rocked. We went up there, coldest game ever, man. Went up there into Iowa City. Matt Roth, Jonathan Babineau, Chad Greenway, Abdul Hodge, man, they got after us. And then we were really trying to figure some things out at that time. It was kind of tricky for us. We were rebuilding after losing guys like Krenzel and Mike Jenkins and Chris Gamble from the years before. Guys like Shane Olivier and Alex Stepanovich were trying to rebuild our entire offensive scheme, replace guys like Will Smith on defense. So for us in 04, we were trying to get it figured out, and we were kind of like right there at that point. It was still, okay, who's going to rock the quarterback spot? Who's the right fit on the offensive line? Once we ended up getting Troy Smith, Kirk Barton, myself, all into the fold, well, the winning started happening at Ohio State. Let's not ever forget that. So we get that figured out. We go up there in 04 and we get pounded. So we come back in 05, and it's time for us to get our redemption. We're singing our song now. It's like, hey, listen, you tuned us up in 04. Now we've got you in the horseshoe, and we pounded them that afternoon in front of a sellout crowd. Now, I got introduced to my boy Mitch King. I don't know if you guys remember this guy or not, but Mitch King was just a freshman at that time. They still were rocking with Chad Greenway and Abdul Hodge, the premier linebackers pretty much in the country, if not inside of just the Big Ten Conference. Well, if you also remember that game, we had our own premier linebackers ourselves with A.J. Hawk and Anthony Schlegel had joined the squad. Bobby Carpenter got to Drew Tate. Drew Tate was a teammate of mine in the East-West Shrine game, and Bobby Carpenter got all over Drew Tate, and he ended up spiking the ball, got the big penalty. Well, we were already in firm control of that game and had to roll up Mitch King a couple times. So, as we started getting ready for the following year and how things would kind of pan out when we would go up to Iowa City, we were number 1 in the country. They were number 11. So they really kind of felt with College Game Day rolling in. I think it had been the first time that Game Day had been there, maybe ever, if not in a very long time. And for us, we knew that we were going up there to, say, hey, listen, we are the number 1 team in the country for a reason. Number 11 ain't going to get it done in front of your sellout crowd, which, mind you, in 06, that was the largest crowd, outdoor crowd, in the history of the state of Iowa to witness a sporting or any type of event outside. I believe it was upwards of 88, 90,000 people. So it was the largest Iowa outdoor crowd in history. So we rolled in there, we got the Jay-Z bumping, we're excited, I kind of felt like we were being a little bit counted out as far as going on the road, big road test. We had already gone down to Texas and beat number 2 Austin, or beat number 2 Longhorns in Austin, Texas. So for us to go into Iowa City, that's not even nearly the jam that is going down there to Austin, Texas. So we get in there and I'm watching a little bit of pregame film. I believe we were staying at the Radisson that game. And so I'm in there early before any of our other teammates come down, day of the game. And Iowa at that time, Mitch King, I believe, was leading the country in sacks. And if you remember back to 06, I always remember this, it seemed like every guy that I faced defensively that season was the best player on the opposing team's defense. Their 3 technique, leading the country in sacks. It was that way against Texas. Cincinnati, we get to Iowa. Mitch King, his defensive line, they're kind of leading the nation. A lot of different stats, tackles for losses, sacks. And I'm sitting there watching this film thinking, man, nobody's punching these guys. So we get down, Coach Bowles, Jim Bowman, Jim Tressel, they both come walking in. They're like, wow, TJ, you're in here a little bit early today. I said, yeah, you know why? I said, because it's time to get something straight here. And I said, when my guys get into this room, I said, I want to let them know something. So the whole team comes in. I had kind of given Jim Bowman, our offensive coordinator, the undercover ideas that I had going on inside of my head that, we're going to be the keys to the victory for us. And as our team came in, Jim Bowman said, TJ, I want you to go ahead and address the team, let them know what's going on. And I turned around and I told everybody, I said, listen, I said, nobody has put hands on these guys the entire season. They're playing Syracuse. They're playing some bums. I said, when you let those hands fly, these boys right here, you put those hands on that defensive line from Iowa and you let them know what time it is. I said, every time they come off the ball, they're getting hit in the mouth. They're getting hit in the mouth continuously. And I said, we're going to be relentless. We're going to be guys that will punish you for an entire 4 quarters and not let up. Well, we start doing that. We're getting about midway through the 3rd quarter. Kirk Barton, myself, our Scoop CEO, he was going against Brian Madison, whose dad was up there at Michigan as their defense coordinator. We brought him down for a year, and obviously that didn't work out at Ohio State. I'm going against Mitch King. He's going against Madison. And somehow or another on a block, I lifted both of these guys up and they kind of fell on top of Kirk's back. I've never seen Kirk Barton get so pissed off in a game like he was when those guys fell on top of his back and he gets sandwiched down on the ground. He's freaking out. He's ready to go and attack after these guys. And so I'm thinking, okay, Kirk, calm down. Time out. I got you. 72, 7 deuce. Got you. You're my boy. I'm going to take care of you. So the following play, he's still kind of huffing and puffing. I said, calm down, big fella. I got this. Told you, man. Don't worry. We get out there, and I'm driving Mitch King down the field, take a peek from the right and the left. Don't see any officials out there. And gave him bam, bam, bam. 3 of those right on top of his head. And the official comes in, tries to break it up, never threw any flags down. I don't think anybody messed with 74 the rest of that game. They definitely didn't want to mess with 72 after that play. We went in there, flexed our muscle. Beanie Wells was doing his thing, had a huge game. That was kind of a breakout game for him his freshman year. We're over there on the sidelines feeling good. They got all their fans yelling down at us, and I'm telling the girls, listen, this is how you run an offense. Come down there to Ohio State. Come down to Columbus and pay a visit to us. So I'll show you how you run an offense. Roy Hall's over there on the sidelines. He's pulling me back. TJ, stop talking to them. Stop engaging the crowd. I said, no. I'm going to let them know what time it is. And they found out what time it was when the Buckeyes rolled into Iowa City, knocked them off because we were the #1 team in the country. All right, when you start to think about, taking down a crowd like that, you got to give these guys nicknames. You got to get in their head. You got to talk some smack to them. And we owned the Hawkeyes in the middle 2000s. Now it's time. They're down a little bit. Can't ever count out Kirk Ferentz. He's a great coach, longest tenured coach in college football. Buckeyes, time to get after them. Throw them up here in the vault. Lock the key. Don't let them out. Your boy TJ, back more next week.